Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Stellaris. We have a bunch of stuff going on. Let's just take stock of where we are. We're at war. We've explored a wormhole to Ilthorn's Gate, this little cluster of stars over here. In fact, there's a little system over here that we don't know how to get to yet. And when we open this up, they declared war on us. They didn't just declare war on us, though. They declared war on us, the Royal Pious Alliance, the Herbetrium Union, the Socraton Cooperative, and the nation of Teles. It's quite the investment that they've done in terms of declaring war there. As for where it comes through, it's all the way over here in the middle of the administration of Hertakangsa. So, not anywhere we need to worry about. They'd have to get through there and then the Pious Gaussian Alliance before they got anywhere close to us. But I still don't like it. Still don't like it. In terms of projects that we have going on right now, where was Particle Mastery again? Particle Mastery was over here, yeah. We have someone on the way up to do that. And my question is, where did I leave them? Let's find out. There we go. Right. So the Pulpar has a long way to go, but will eventually make it up there and try and find out why people on Rossel have been disappearing. We are currently going through modifying all of our various populations. We're going to keep doing that until they're all done, now that we've mastered our genetics. We have an astral rift that we're exploring. In fact, we have two astral rifts. We have one that we are actively exploring and one that we're not. We have a first contact option available, which... You know what? We don't need a spy network on the Chosen right now. Let's carry on the first contact there. And these various excavation things, that's all up in the Chosen's area. So the Chosen are the biggest threat right now. They have allowed our splinter planet to stand by our side. So I'm using the opportunity to do as much building as we can in terms of reinforcing our fleets and getting them set up. So we've got the anvil and hammer, and we've got the tip of the spear. And those are coming along quite nicely. We're going to need a lot of resources to actually deal with all of that, and the resources are very expensive, and we don't have much money. But every now and then we can probably afford to do a few little bits. In fact, with that, it might be worth us building another hyperlane extension. You're currently building. We need another 222. Maybe we can stretch to afford that. So we need 1335 in terms of trade. Yeah, we can get there. We'll keep that moving forwards as well. We've got a lot of things that we're juggling right now, including the minor artifacts. With 572, we can reverse engineer arcane technology again. So we'll go ahead and do that. Fallen Empire building has been gained. It hasn't told us what one, however. So I'm kind of curious as to what that's going to be. Let's find a place that can build stuff. Oh, you've got... Fountas has got a bit of overcrowding. Oh, we're already sorting that out with the Planetary Administration. That's fine. So what fallen building or fallen empire building? An affluence emporium. This is new. So this is all about building consumer goods. That's kind of cool. It's got a lot of upkeep to it. But that is a lot of jobs right there. If we have a world that is dedicated to producing consumer goods, that would be a very interesting one to push out. The pit has an upgrade available, but we need a few more materials, so we'll just wait for those minerals to come in. And we'll get that ticked off as well. Accidentally slowed things down, so we'll speed them up again. And there we go. That gives us enough for this upgrade, so we'll get that upgrade going. A particularly observant operative in the Chosen has laid their hands on a part of the Chosen encryption key. It would seem a careless, charitable politician has mislaid the device while communicating. Bodes well for our operations in the Chosen, but our study of the device's unique design has revealed novel insights for our general approach to code breaking. Great.
Species enhanced.
That's the Aris done. Let's go back to our species list, and we're going to go from the most populous down to the least populous. So next up is going to be the Rawl. Let's create a template for them. We want them to be docile, as with all the others that we're making. Which means taking off unruly and putting on docile. Holy moly, they were unruly before. Yeah, definitely not cool. We're going to go with our standard vocational genomics. We can probably get away with making them sedentary. And then it's really going to be a question of where they are mostly based. Let's find out before we do any specifics. It's a shame we can't just search to find out there. Primarily, it's going to be on the Alpine world. At least I would have expected it would be, but it does not look that way. You're a Savannah world. Let's go from the top. Tropical world, probably not here. And got a few. Farmer, miner, technician. I mean, the habitability is low for them, so it's not great. Mostly they seem to be workers. We do have some specialists. And over in the pit. No, there's none over there. Yeah, Sarah really doesn't have many. Compared with what I was expecting. And over here, of course, they're mostly farmers. Yeah, farmer, miner, and technician seems to be where most of their stuff is based. So let's create the template. We'll take off unruly. We'll give them those vocational genomics. We'll give them docile. We'll also give them sedentary. So we're looking for something that's going to be farmer, miner, or technician, or maybe we just improve the habitability, because they do suffer a bit on quite a lot of the worlds. Yeah, let's just make them adaptive. I think that'll be fine. We'll go ahead and apply that. Yeah, it's split pretty far across everywhere.
Situation log updated.
That'll be fine. We'll get them clicking along quite happily. Now, what was this first contact event? Our linguists are becoming increasingly frustrated at our failure to provide them with sufficient material to make progress on decoding the language of the Row aliens. It seems these particular aliens are doing their utmost to prevent their signals from being heard by the wrong ears. Okay. It's not easy, but we will persist nevertheless.
Species enhanced.
Alright, there goes the roll. Next up. So that's the original. This is the default because it's been applied across the board. That's the Amadag. So these live on just 3 planets, which are mostly Sarat and the Pit. So, on Sarat, the agri-world, yeah, it's all farmers. We'll make these guys farmers. So modify the template, we'll take off unruly, of course. So first up, we could... They're not going to be researchers. There's no need to make them erudite. Let's start with what we know. Vocational genomics, agrarian. We're going to want docile. We can make them sedentary, just so we've got a few more bits. And then we're really just looking at anything that makes them slightly more useful to us. Unlikely to do much mining. However, we could have them be incubators. And we could start getting more exotic gases. So, gaseous byproducts. And incubators. And get that applied across all the population.
Situation log updated.
And that'll be done in 2 months. It's a shame you can't remove templates after you've made them. Finding out where they were was definitely a smart choice, just for being able to see quite easily. But it's, yeah, it means we've ended up with extra... set this as default. There we go. We've ended up with extra templates that we don't necessarily need. So we've only got 1 more species that we can modify. which is the Rampolians. And they're spread all throughout the place. I wonder. Doesn't look like it's. Oh, well, I suppose we can see this way. 95, 49, 12, 11. Most of them are on Seldis. So when it comes when it comes to do that, I believe it's going to be technicians. Yeah. Okay, they'll become technicians. Or become better technicians, I should say. Now, these changes I'm making everyone docile. It is taking down some of the impact on our empire size. You can see 17.9k population is only giving plus 146.
Species enhanced.
Or 145.7. So it is making a difference. But really, it's just stemming the flow. It's a nice to have rather than a necessary thing. So, Rampolians, create template. You are sedentary. You are ingenious. You have vocational genomics. Now, what else can we do that's going to be useful for you? Probably not extremely adaptive. We could make you fertile. It's not a bad idea, actually, for the planet they're on. Yeah, let's make them fertile. Oh, actually, there was still more points that we could have added. Let's modify the template further. I don't think we need them to be budding, but we could go for some gaseous byproducts. I wonder if there's one that will do motes. There's the rare crystal one. Volatile excretions, there we go. Let's do that.
Situation log updated.
So the Rampolians will be accidentally creating volatile motes for us. We'll set that as the default. And that's the last of the species modification until we have a new planet. Let's have a quick check to make sure our housing is good on each of our worlds. 1.5k, 833, 606, 1.4k. Mine is 15, but we're sorting that with the planetary administration. And actually, straight after the clone vats are done, we could probably just get a city district built to give a little bit of extra help on that. Oslo's fine, Rillis is fine, Terib is fine, they're all good.
Species enhanced.
Let's get some more ships being built, although that didn't actually appear to put anything in the build queue. Not helpful. We'll let it get a little more forward efficient again, because sometimes it can be a little weird. The Row aliens. So we picked up readings of an unknown nature. The signals seem to follow some kind of repeating syntax which could indicate sapient origin. It should be investigated further. They seem to be concentrated around a single space station, though it's unclear whether this forms part of a larger civilization. We'll carry on digging that out, see what we can find. Now, in terms of where we are with our technology, now that we've... actually, let me just check something. We'll pause for a moment. Did we research? Yes. We can try and form a federation. I think it's going to be worth us trying to do that. So let's bring up our... over in our contacts. Who likes us the most? The Pious Gossians and the Chosen are definitely not happy. We don't have enough intel to be able to say what's going on with them, but let's do some diplomacy. I don't see anything obvious in there for forming a federation, but it might not be through here. It might be once we've already got agreements in place. Let's have a look at the research and see if we can find out from there. So if I go to researched, unlocks diplomacy, form federation. Nice and helpful. Alright, give me a second. I'm just going to do a little bit of reading. Won't be long. Okay, so it turns out I didn't need to look up the details because I found it. We have an option that's further down, which I needed to scroll down to see. Form a federation. We must be at peace, and they must be at peace. So we can't do it until the war with the Chosen is done. Right now, they are at slightly more relative war exhaustion attrition than we are. And that's just from time passing on. Nothing's happened. It's just they're suffering more than we are. So until any fighting goes on, I don't know if there's really anything that we can do about that. We could maybe do try and do some diplomacy with them, but honestly, it's probably going to be a bit of a moot point. We can insult them. But honestly, yeah, it's not going to happen. We'll return to building the spy network when we can. Let's see if we'll just settle the status quo. They probably say no, but we'll send the offer and let them reject it. Compelling the crowds. Time alone will show how lasting our effect may be on the Puthmayan. However, initial projections look promising. Puthmayan's advocates have already taken up our ideas as keenly as if they were their own. This is the colony on Stad that we're interfering with. Our operatives took a holistic approach, encouraging curiosity and a greater appreciation for other cultures in the form of stories, art, and community events. With Operation Indoctrinate Society now concluded, our operatives have left it to local Xenophiles to keep these discussions alive and better prepare the Puthmanian civilization for life in a diverse galaxy. That was cool. Let's go to the diplomacy. We're not going to reveal our presence. They've got a low awareness, low diplomatic weight. And they are lithoids in they're in the Bronze Age. Okay. Yeah. We could plant advanced knowledge and try and accelerate them along. Yeah. Let's plant advanced knowledge. They're only in the Bronze Age. They may be a pre-FTL society, but they're capable of reaching the stars. They just need a little push. And we'll go ahead and launch that. Response to peace offer. We have not attempted to pass you. They didn't even read it. So, it looks like it was rejected. So no change there. The Ro aliens, however, their language contains millions of seemingly redundant sounds, apparently dialect hangovers from their precursor civilizations. When translated, these apparently superfluous filler words seem to serve no purpose other than to add linguistic flavour, and at most have only minor contextual implications. Thankfully, our linguists have narrowed down the obsolete aspects of the language and are now compiling an abridged lexicon that should prove very useful for efficient communication. That should be enough for us to get some...
agenda available.
Ooh. Alright, we've got a couple of things. Let's start off with the volatile material plants. That's great. We'll queue up another bit of research. We could start for cloaking fields. We're not really that kind of empire, though. Hyperspace slipstream, though, allowing people to move around a bit easier. Does feel like our kind of thing. And it leads to gateway activation and gateway construction. Subspace sensors would also be really kind of appropriate, especially with the black hole observatories, because there's going to be ones that we can utilize for that. Okay, subspace sensors it is. One of our agendas is no longer on cooldown. We're not ready to launch the next one yet. Guardian Angels Act has been passed. That's great. Up next is forming the Galactic Council. This is one that we proposed, so that's a little bit of a feather in our cap. And then we have the subnautical event at the Astral Rift. Something is wrong. We've been travelling through the water for hours, but have seen no change in our surroundings. The helmsman believes there's some force acting on us that our engines cannot overcome. He recommends we try a short jump. Alternatively, if we exit the sphere and attach ourselves to low-density inflatables, we may simply float to the surface. So we can activate the engines. Okay. Or don pressure suits and swim. This is harder, but it's not hard. It's like on the top end of medium. We're here to do science. Don the pressure suits and swim. You have a bit of a skill bonus, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, I was going to get one of the ships built.
Research complete.
Let's move up, ready for the next hyper relay. Lovely. Food from farmers plus 20%. We have so much food coming in right now. That is an obscene amount. I'd love to see it. Our agri-worlds are producing exactly what they need to, so we can just like permanently keep food being sold. Next up, we've got two things that will give us edict funds. Colonial bureaucracy will also give us base intel level on, I assume, other empires, which is very interesting. An orbital ring building for an orbital filing system. That's interesting and amusing, not immediately useful to us. I think we'll go for the colonial bureaucracy. Mostly because the bureaucracy, I think, is going to come to help us with our empire size. And it does lead down covert ops path, so sure, let's lean a little bit into the intelligence communities. We can buy a little bit in the way of metals. And we'll be able to get another hyper relay building soon. We are getting 114 food per month. Get the next hyper relay being built, and we go back to the Row aliens. After successfully translating their language, we've established communications with the independent space station of the Shroud Witches. Right.
They can talk, and they want to talk to us.
Ah, visitor, welcome. We're the Shroud Witches. Within this void-born hull, our coven communes with forces incomprehensible to most mortal minds. We contemplate the secrets that lie hidden in dreams, reservoirs of untapped potential, the unseen gears driving whole civilizations. The Shroud reveals much more to those who would listen. At this moment I listen to you. What brings you to us? Do you yet know? What is to be our fate? A momentous query, no less poignant for being asked by so many before you. Such a question comes at a heavy price, but we can provide answers if we're going to pay. Oh my word. It's going to cost a lot. We can get that money relatively quickly. Yeah, the Shroud allows us to perceive events which have not yet come to pass, and the knowledge will help guide your course. Strike the bargain. Yeah, it costs effectively 4,000. So we'll go back to them when we've got money to burn. And we do have a lot of money coming in. But that is a lot
updated.
To go through. We have a special project with a time limit. Ah. So this is the Astral Scar instability. Well, seeing as you're here and not doing anything, research the projects first. And then explore the wormhole. And we'll see what's up.
Research complete.
Plasteel materials are done. What do we put next on our chopping block? Ripper cannons seem like Stormfire cannons would just make them redundant entirely. We could carry on with the cheap things and just keep gradually improving stuff. Fusion missiles I don't think we're really going to use. Ion thrusters I could see us getting some benefit. They'll be done in 32 months, or we could just jump straight to plasma thrusters. I think plasma thrusters. Plasma thrusters or carrier operations. Or we go straight for the big Stormfire cannons, but that's 10 years. Let's go with plasma thrusters. While that's all going on, let's do some applications of our various artifacts that we have. We can, if we give it a little moment, there we go. We can celebrate diversity and push the peaceful or military applications. Let's go for peaceful applications. Ancient fad for random happiness. Pop consumer good upkeep down. That's probably a good one, seeing as we're a little bit low. Yeah, let's go for efficient manufacturing. And I'm assuming we have the celebrating diversity modifier because we can't do that right now. Right. After careful analysis, we've confirmed that the astral scar in Yongyang is dangerously unstable and requires immediate intervention to prevent further gravitational singularities forming within the system. Powerful ejection of astral threads could be redirected and repurposed in order to stitch the scar shut. This would repair the tear in space-time and likely leave behind a significant amount of astral material. Or we could deliver a heavier payload in an effort to widen the scar. We speculate that this would also allow for further exploration of what may be on the other side. This is nowhere near us. Blow it open. The ordnance we sent into the astral scar has widened the folds in space and time. Where there was once a small tear, there is now a larger rift that is capable of being explored. The resulting stability has caused the gravitational anomalies to subside, and we prepare to discover what's beyond. So, can you... Yeah, you can't do the rift, because the rift's not in our own territory. But you can at least explore the wormhole. Yeah, it's outside the Empire. That's what I thought. Non-aggression pact from the Achuvians. Decline that for now. Let's find out where this wormhole goes. Our consumer goods are back kind of in line with where I want them to be. It's actually a really good time for us to take stock of what we've got. We've got lots of minerals coming in. I should probably shore up our consumer goods production. Let's upgrade and get a few more research jobs at home. It may not be like a huge amount, but 60 more engineer jobs compared with how much engineering research we have. An additional 4 out of 160. It's ticking things along, really. Yeah, I don't think we need any specialisms on the home planet. We are out of jobs on Pathar, so let's get another 200 metallurgists. And yeah, this is set as a forge world, which is what we want. Now, Celdis is a generator world at my beck and call. Let's change that over. If we were to build a specialism here and go for civilian industry, in fact, no, I'm still happy with that being a generator. Let's pick another world. The pit as a mining world right now. That would reduce artisan upkeep, but it doesn't increase production. So keeping this as a mining world, but then just having extra civilian industry, I think that is the best way of us doing things here. Sell a whole bunch, buy a whole bunch. This is going to drop our available housing slightly, but it is a start for the civilian industry side of things, which is good. And I need to look at the available jobs that we've got at the various places, because we technically were running out. Pathar, for instance, upgrading is going to sort that. Celdis, you have run out. We need a little bit more to be able to sort that. So the question is, do we go for more generators or do we go for more civilian industries to support? We could go for the affluence emporium. That actually makes me think, if we were to do that, it would be best on one of the big ass mining worlds. But it would be amusing to build it here. So the benefit of a mining world is just 25% extra mining output, which is, it is a reasonable amount. But switching across to reducing the upkeep for the artisans may actually be more beneficial. We'll keep it on auto-designated and we'll let it decide what we're going to do. Right now the planet does have a deficit of minerals slightly. Alright, what I'm thinking is if we go for the mineral purification plants in the mining district down here, this is gonna really kind of like lean into to all of this. Because we've got a fair number of jobs still available right now. We do have clone vats, which is why I'm happy doing it here. So that keeps you happy with your mineral production. So back to Makora. If we're going to build this, we need 185 more of the crystals and 714 metal. That is quite the investment. And as much as we are getting a lot of stuff in right now, I do feel like we are quite poor. So this is going to be something that we push towards, not something that we're going to get immediately. And rather than this being a generator world, let's stick this on auto. It is not letting me. How strange. Well, I guess we'll leave it on the generator, because for right now that is the smarter choice. Maybe it's not able to decide for it. Either way, Makora is going to be where we end up building our... Either Makora or Seldis will be where we end up building our affluence. Can I do this one? No. Also the same. This one definitely makes more sense to be a generator, though. Alright, well, that is going to be it for this episode. I'm afraid we are running a little low on time. As always, trying to keep this between 40 minutes and an hour long, and I believe we're just past the 45. So thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you have enjoyed this. As always, if you have, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Stellaris. See you soon.